Welcome to The Pulse, where for the next half hour, we will examine how mass federal job loss has impacted individuals from our community. Real people who love their jobs, lost their jobs, but who haven't lost hope. Fired, furloughed, and fed up with federal work? A special edition of The Pulse starts right now. In this episode, you'll hear from Rockville resident Isola Shaw, a former federal worker now running for office. We'll also give you an update on the single mother we introduced you to in our pilot episode. After applying for more than 150 jobs, she finally landed an offer. Stay tuned to find out where. And laid off for months now, one former federal worker is finding new purpose by drawing portraits of pets whose owners lost their government jobs. It's all to help bring a happy moment to a tough time. Plus, from government work to hooping it up, meet a Tacoma Park man teaching basketball for free after being furloughed. Those stories and more coming up on The Pulse. But first, let's hear from a fired federal worker who is looking for a new career.
My name is Jacob Saunders, and I was formerly a business analyst at the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. I was employed there for 5 weeks, where I was then laid off in February of 2025. I was extremely disappointed, but I remain hopeful for the future. I've been actively seeking employment for the past 9 months. My transferable skills include Microsoft Excel, teamwork, and overall professionalism. In college, I was voted captain of the men's lacrosse team 2 years in a row. I was also named head coach of the JV boys lacrosse team at Paint Branch High School. I believe these 2 accomplishments serve as an example of my ability to execute at a high level and also achieve set goals. Thank you.
And now for our top story. Let go from her job at the National Institutes of Health, Rockville resident Isola Shaw is now working to be the change she wants to see, running for office to transform the leadership and laws that left her jobless. Our chief public affairs correspondent, Fran Murphy, has more.
For more than 25 years, Isola Shaw worked for the federal government.
I worked at the National Cancer Institute in communications, and we did a lot of work around cancer prevention, cancer health equity. The work that NIH was doing, it is continuing to do, serves the world. My father worked as a federal employee for 40 years, so I grew up in a household honoring federal employees, and he inspired me to serve in the federal government.
But in May, Shaw and 150 of her fellow workers got the exact same email, ending their government careers.
Many folks had been there their entire career. It was my dream to be a federal employee. So it was heartbreaking.
Like her colleagues, Shaw struggled to adjust to her new reality.
At first, it was very hard to believe, and then you begin to accept it, and then there's a period where, it's very upsetting to you to think about what has happened to you and your coworkers, and then there's a lot of different moods you can go through and trying to resolve and heal from it.
Before the Cancer Institute, Shaw worked for FEMA.
I particularly worked around vulnerable communities, so migrant communities, tribal communities, communities that were below the poverty level in urban areas, and working to bring these communities together to also share their stories, because there are more barriers with some of these more vulnerable communities in a disaster.
A few years ago, Shaw found another way to indulge her passion for public service, this time closer to home.
Good evening, Rockville. Today is November 3rd, 2025, and we're beginning meeting 26-25.
You are on the council in Rockville. What do you love about it the most?
I love serving my community and connecting with my community.
I think it was actually more than nearly half. I think it was 56% of renters.
Bringing a lot of community members that haven't historically been a part of government or participated in their government in to help make policies and to give their voice and how we should be making policies to serve them.
While she continues to serve Rockville, Shaw looks to make a career pivot to another local government arena.
Well, I'm looking to run for County Council District 3, which is continuing to serve the city of Rockville as well as Gaithersburg. And my approach to government is bringing more people into their local government to make sure that people's lives are better and a better quality of life.
Shaw says her Rockville community will be forever changed by the impact of the layoffs.
I would say that there's some tough times coming in the future. It's not done. And I think that's one of the scariest things. We don't know what's going to happen. But now I feel like the mass firings have kind of isolated a lot of people. And so it's very important to continue to check in on each other and build community.
Reporting from Rockville, I'm Fran Murphy for The Pulse on Montgomery Community Media.
With an estimated 4,000 unemployed federal workers here in Montgomery County and thousands more recovering from the longest government shutdown in U.S. history, Governor Wes Moore says Maryland is stepping up to ease the job loss pain.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, Matt.
Thank you for coming.
He recently visited the Mobilized Montgomery Federal Workforce Career Center in Wheaton, the first career center in the nation dedicated specifically to displaced federal workers and contractors.
While the federal government continues to fight our people, we are going to remind the federal government that we will fight for our people, and we're going to protect them.
Governor Moore says Maryland will continue to provide job counseling, training, resume workshops, career assessments, and recruitment events, along with support programs for healthcare, housing, and food assistance. And the center will remain open for any former government contractor or employee who needs help getting back to work. Now let's hear from yet another former federal worker who is looking to start her next chapter. This after reaching the top of her field during a 10-year career at a government agency.
I'm Mariama Keita-Tiero, and for the past 10 years, I've worked for the #1 development agency in the world, known as USAID. As a former development diplomat, and a seasoned global communicator that also served as a federal government contractor, my expertise is communications at the intersection of global development. What I love most about my job is having the opportunity to leverage the United States government's soft power. From countries that span over 130 that USAID represents, I humanized data, effectively told stories, and more importantly, got a chance to interview and meet community heroes. So I will say my transferable skills are cross-cultural competency, cultural diplomacy, and just giving American taxpayers an opportunity to understand what U.S. investments look like around the world. And what I say is my superpower and my strength is in this midst of career pivot is helping emerging leaders understand the value of effective communications by helping them optimize the best versions of themselves.
Next, we hear from a mid-career level professional who transitioned into teaching after losing his government job and taking classes at Montgomery College. Reporter Miriam Shahzad has the story.
People need jobs and schools need teachers. When the Trump administration cut funding for international development, one laid-off worker turned to the classroom.
International development is no longer priority based on what they were doing at USAID. So having a family, I had to make a choice and I had to find a new career.
Earlier this year, Neelitz was furloughed from the National Democratic Institute, where he worked in data and democracy development. He decided to go through the Feds to Eds program at Montgomery College for career changers who want to become teachers.
I had Peace Corps. Actually, my experience was English language development, teaching English abroad. And I had done a little bit during my undergrad study abroad. Additionally, I'm from a family of educators. My dad is a middle school math teacher, which is what I'm doing now. So first, I started subbing pretty much only at Tacoma Park. I got a good situation there and they liked me. And while I was there, I learned more about the Alternative Certification for Effective Teachers program at Montgomery College and figured that was the best step forward. So I applied and I got accepted.
He started teaching at Argyle Middle School in Lay Hill this school year.
So far, I really like it. I actually, when I was teaching abroad, I focused mostly on middle school. To be a teacher and also to work in any kind of nonprofit, let alone an international nonprofit, you're not going to be in it for making the big bucks. You are mission driven. It is something that you have to really want to do because you're not going to last long if you don't. Your work is your passion and you need to sort of grasp it and hold it as much as possible.
Although he may not have thought he would be teaching middle school math right now, Neelitz thinks he's found his new career.
The fact that they basically destroyed USAID through, frankly, what was unconstitutional measures, and basically eroded and eradicated funding, meant international development is not going to be magically back, even if there's a new administration. We're probably talking an 8 to 10 year window to rebuild what that industry used to be and what existed before that. So that's not something I can go back to, or at least not anything I can even fathom going back to. But education is something I can go back to. There might be ways, because MCPS is so big, that after working as a teacher for a while, there might be opportunities to reuse those monitoring evaluation skills in the office or with the Department of Education, but that's almost too far away for me to think about right now. Right now, I think I'm focused on making sure that I can hone my craft, get better at figuring out how to meet students where they are, come up with lessons that are engaging so that they can learn, and just make sure to build them up in both academic and personal ways. And I think that's probably what I need to focus on now before I can even think about doing anything. And I still think that's a worthwhile career.
Other professionals who may be interested in the teacher prep program can apply now for Montgomery College's fall 2026 cohort. Reporting from Argyle Middle School in Lay Hill, I'm Miriam Shahzad for The Pulse on Montgomery Community Media.
A good job, but you gotta love it. Great advice from that teacher. Thanks so much for the story, Miriam. Well, from one pivot to another, our sports reporter Frank Hanrahan is here with the story of a federal worker who turned to basketball after his government job was put on hold. Frank, welcome to The Pulse. Tell us more.
Thanks, Marquette. When faced with employment circumstances that he couldn't control, Tacoma Park's Thomas Radman wasn't going to just sit around and wait for a resolution. He wanted to get out there and help others by teaching the game he loves.
It's called that because it sort of looks like it. So I'll actually...
Basketball can offer so much, and Radman donated his time and knowledge, giving free lessons to interested players during these very unique times.
It's people that really love basketball already. They watch it, they know a lot about it. We spend actually probably half the time just talking about our favorite players and who we want to emulate and things like that, like our goals, and that's fun. It's just like a bunch of like-minded people. But the common thread there is they all say like they never really had the chance to get like a formal training, how to shoot properly and things like that. So it's been an interesting learning experience, applying what I've learned coaching kids and just, bringing that to adults. They certainly listen a lot better.
Several players have taken Radman up on the offer, including myself, to have fun, get some exercise while developing some new skills.
My goal here is for them to be independent basketball players so they're confident going to all these great resources we have around here, like Silver Spring Rec Center just opened up, and there's lots of opportunities to play pickup basketball around. So I want them to kind of understand the culture and be confident going onto the court, calling next, and getting into a game and doing well.
Radman will continue to coach no matter what the situation is.
Yeah, basketball, it's always good to give back. You know, like, honestly, like, I think it would be disingenuous to say that it's like me giving, you know, providing community service, because I'm getting a lot from this.
In Tacoma Park, for The Pulse, I'm Frank Hanrahan. With the government shutdown now over, Thomas is back to work.
Thanks, Frank. What a great story. And I think you've got some competition on the court now.
Yeah, Thomas has some skills. I used to think I could play, and getting back out there with a little training sort of jumpstarts my engine. So I want to get back out there and play some hoops for sure.
Well, with Thomas back to work, is he still going to continue to give the free basketball lessons?
Absolutely. There is no stopping him. He loves the game. He loves connecting with the community through basketball. So check out Thomas. He will be out there on the courts at Sligo Creek probably much every weekend.
All right, I'll drive by and see if I can get in a lesson. Thanks again, Frank. Next, the bittersweet story of a seasoned former federal worker from Tacoma Park who built her career in international development. Reporter Kiara Moore has this story.
Thanks, Marquette. Now jobless for months, Denise Mortimer is using her artistic talents to create portraits of pets, bringing comfort to federal workers who have been fired, furloughed, or forced out.
So the Recabarren project is basically a Instagram storytelling project, and the intention behind it is to share the diversity and the impact of the work that federal workers were doing prior to losing their jobs under the current Trump administration. On the first day, it was clear that this transition wasn't going to be like the others, and it was clear that there were going to be very big changes coming to the agency. I came home that day, I was cold, I was tired, it was, dead of winter. And so I called Recabarren over, and it was so clear to me that he had no idea, obviously, what was going on in the world. And I found a lot of comfort in the fact that he is so pure and sweet. And so I decided to draw a picture of him because that was comforting to me.
What does it mean to you to be able to create such heartwarming and vibrant artwork for people who are going through a similar situation?
I drew my dog on that first day, and it was joyful. He's sweet. Like, it makes me happy to look at him. And so I thought, why don't I try to bring some of that happiness to other people who are in the same very stressful situation that I'm in. So it was just a little shot of dopamine, during an otherwise really stressful time. And so, it just made me feel good to bring little joy to people.
She's too weirded out by
I worked for the federal government last year. I was a probationary employee when the new administration came in, and then I was one of the first batch of people to get fired, along with thousands of other probationary employees.
So what does the Recabarren project mean to you, and how has it made an impact on you during a time of uncertainty?
I thought it was an amazing idea that Denise had. I thought it was just a really cool idea to sort of humanize the federal workforce. And so it's really neat to look at the stories and read about the dogs, but also read about what their owners did in the federal government, what services they provided for people. Just having pets in general is therapeutic, right? So having my dogs, I have another one too, has been really comforting. And seeing how other people in the Recabarren project talked about their dogs and their projects that they worked on at their jobs, it just makes you feel less alone. Not only to have the dog there with you personally, but to be part of the project and see what everyone did and how they're also grieving their positions.
Since he's on social media, he has been recognized twice, so he's a little bit famous. Not very famous, but I think his life will continue as it always has, going on lots of walks and getting lots of pets and snuggles and just being a good boy.
Thanks, Kiara. She really is an amazing artist. Has Denise found a new job back with her passion, international development?
Marquette, as of now, Denise has not. She is still continuing her portraits of the pets. However, she is still looking and searching for a job in the international development sector.
But did you ask her, considering she's such a great artist, does she want to go into portrait making full time?
So Denise loves what she does, but I think after speaking with her, her heart is definitely in the federal government, and so that's what she's looking to continue on doing.
Well, thank you so much for bringing truly an amazing story of someone giving in their time of need.
Of course, it was such a wonderful experience to speak with Denise, and best of luck.
Now we wanted to update you on a USAID worker we first introduced you to in our pilot episode of The Pulse. A single mom laid off on Valentine's Day, Casey Recabarren applied for more than 150 jobs before she finally landed an offer.
It was a dream job. And today, many people are seeing the end of their dream jobs. Not because it was making them rich financially, but it's because their hearts were in it. Because helping others, especially the historically marginalized around the world, seems like a pretty valuable use of your working hours.
Fran Murphy now shares an update on Casey and her new job.
6 months after she was laid off at USAID and more than 50 letters of rejection later, Casey Recabarren had only one firm job offer.
I was waiting more. It had already been at that point 8 months about. It was a really hard decision to make.
With her mind made up, Recabarren packed up her family and moved to Colorado in September.
I know a lot of people in the Boulder, Colorado area, and so I had friends help on this end. We did come and assess, and my kids had some friends up here already, so that was all part of the decision. It still didn't make it easy. I work in education, so that made at least the part for my younger one a little easier. So I work now in a startup preschool and academy for all learners, inclusive of learners with disabilities and specifically language-based challenges. And I've worked in education systems all over the world, especially through USAID, so I can use a lot of those skills, which feels great.
Is it kind of a relief not to be here with all the stuff that's happening here?
I feel two very big and opposite emotions at the same time. I'm holding on to still quite a bit of grief. I love my job, I love my colleagues, I loved where we lived, I loved the life that I had created for my kids. With that said, that life does not exist anymore. Being out here does feel, I don't know, healthy and relaxed and away and really healing because of the trauma that we went through since last January. Values, and I feel really grateful that I am in a role that I can continue supporting all learners and really standing up for inclusion.
With federal job losses continuing and AI changing the modern workplace, where can everyday workers find career stability? Turns out the fastest growing industries with strong, stable salaries are in fields that require skilled expertise and, in many cases, hands-on work. Jobs that top the list and pay the most include computer and information research scientists, physician's assistants, and nurse practitioners. For more on careers that can't be replaced by AI, visit bls.gov. And now let's take a look at what's trending with our social media correspondent, Olivia Fanders.
Hi, I'm Olivia Fanders, and here are 5 ways Montgomery County is expanding its support for federal employees, with both government programs and local businesses offering new perks to help ease financial strain. At number 5, the state of Maryland is providing a much-needed financial cushion through its Resources for Federal Workers program. Eligible employees can apply for a $700 zero-interest loan designed to help cover everyday costs like groceries or childcare without the added burden of interest. State officials say the application process is quick and streamlined to get money into workers' hands as soon as possible. At number 4, the Maryland Department of Labor is reminding federal employees that they may qualify for unemployment compensation for federal employees. This program provides weekly payments to help cover lost income during work stoppage. Applicants can file directly through the state's unemployment portal. And officials are encouraging anyone uncertain about eligibility to still apply, saying they'd rather help residents navigate the process than leave families behind. At number 3, the county is working to keep residents in their homes and their lights on. eligible federal workers are temporarily protected from eviction or foreclosure, provided they meet the criteria. Meanwhile, WSSC Water has announced it's waiving late fees and pausing all service shutoffs, ensuring that no one loses access to essential water services. These measures, county officials say, are meant to prevent cascading hardships during an already stressful time. The county's Mobilize Montgomery program is also making a difference by helping federal employees find temporary jobs, voluntary work, and professional coaching. The initiative connects furloughed or unpaid workers with short-term employment opportunities across the region, while also offering workshops on networking and career development. Organizers say the goal is to provide both income and a sense of community support until regular work resumes. And finally, at number 1, popular restaurants are offering discounts and freebies as well. Rasa in Rockville is serving up $10 shutdown bowls for anyone with a federal ID. Taco Bamba locations in Rockville and Gaithersburg are offering buy one get one free tacos, while Matchbox restaurants in Bethesda and Rockville are giving 20% off all dine-in meals. And perhaps the most generous offer, Moby Dick House of Kebab is providing free lunch sandwiches every weekday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. These gestures, though small, are adding up to a big community impact. That's a look at 5 ways the community is coming together to support federal workers. I'm Olivia Fanders, and you're watching The Pulse.
If you missed any of those stories, they're all available on demand at mymcmedia.org. While Montgomery County is turning 250 years old in the new year, there are many more milestone days to celebrate around town. In a few weeks, 2 familiar faces are celebrating big birthdays. First, Tacoma Park resident and U.S. Representative for Maryland's 8th Congressional District, Jamie Raskin, turned 63 December 13th. And Montgomery County's very own star of The Golden Bachelorette, Joan Vassos, also turned 63 soon. Her birthday is on January 11th, 2026. And now it's time for our community calendar. Get merrier in Montgomery County by taking in a show at Montgomery College. December 14th is Nutcracker Night at the Cultural Arts Center. The Akhmadova Ballet Academy brings the classic stage presentation to life with dazzling costumes and unforgettable performances. For showtimes and tickets, visit akhmadovaballet.org. Well, that's all for this edition of The Pulse, the heartbeat of Montgomery County. I'm Marquette Shepard. Thank you for joining us. For more information on the stories featured in this episode, visit mymcmedia.org. And don't forget to follow us on social media at mymcmedia and hashtag The Pulse. Until next time, stay connected and keep it local.